in the game, Rodrigo was not tracking back like he used to because of the way Arteta was using the left back Skelly. See, Skelly was moving to midfield, so Rodrigo saw that.
Was inverting.
That was a gap, a huge void that he could exploit. But before he could exploit that, he needed Real Madrid to first and foremost get on the ball. And that is why I say Thomas Partey ninkebanye nibe pale. No more. Partey in twas na agbene. Partey twas na agbene. Partey in twas na. Kehami. Basamoshi domi kudomomi belemomi kehami Joe boss kaje wani. Meji bossu.
You should see.
I feel like coach was wearing the same shirt when he did the first.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying.
He was wearing the same shirt when he did the first one.
After the game, coach was training with that.
No, controller. Partey was in charge.
I am your boss.
I'm your boss.
I've showed up.
Give it to me. Respect yourself. Anibula boy. Kobuwe obabuwe mini. Bola twa. Miji boss we boy. Look, in the first half, Arsenal should have had 2 or 3 tap-ins. They didn't get that.
Yeah.
Look, nobody saw those free kicks coming. Benketia, this is where I clap for Arteta and I clap for Thomas Partey. After the first free kick, go and watch the first, just after the free kick, the 5, 6, 8 minutes, Real Madrid wanted the game to be chaotic. Go and watch it. When they considered the first goal, they felt very angry, or they felt angered. Come on, who are these guys? These Nyakapums and Nyakapims. And then they started coming to Arsenal. But that is where I say the controller. Look, go watch. There was a place. Real Madrid had come on the attack. Saliba won the ball. He gave the ball to Thomas Partey. Then Saka was screaming because there was a gap. Partey didn't mind. Partey Ashama ole ke akeme na Ashama player no watching. Partey Ashama kasebo try. Muli charmi.
Mean in the dust.
In the ground, he control even in the militia egbe on a chio. They need touch and bounce ball like a cobble on a ball and a ha. Yahan bulaba nye. Saka, don't go forward. He took the ball, gave it to what? Timber gave the ball to Size, and he said, Saka, come back. I'm your boss. When I'm talking, you don't misbehave. La ilaha illallah. Thomas Partey. Over walk. He just took the ball and did a merry-go-round. And then finally he gave the ball back to their keeper. And then he showed up, give it to me. Now listen. It was, you see, you may not understand these games if you are not a technical person. Real Madrid at the time wanted the game to go on. Let's go back and forth. But Arsenal understood that they are the home team. There's a place called the Bernabeu. You need to cushion yourself. So Partey single-handedly took the steam out of the game for like 5 minutes. Then what did he do? He just upped the tempo again. Let's go. Now the Saka boy who was screaming from the ball, Partey took it. Hemo.
And I had a little problem with that observing. So I realized that every time Partey had the ball and went wide to Saka, he could have probably gone to Odegaard and Odegaard could have gone to Saka. But some way, somehow, he was going directly to Saka all the time.
Oh God, I'm the boss. I have decided that now it's time for you to have it. Now have it, Saka, take it. And then he considered the second free kick. Second goal, Declan Rice. Then go and again watch after the second goal what Thomas Partey did. Look, Real Madrid had Luka Modric. Ebo, Ebeshe, Eyakashiniwo, Echabo Waje, Beleche, Luka Modric, Thomas Partey, Beleche.
Beshing.
And then they had what?
Jude Bellingham.
Kamavinga. Imagine Kamawo. You number one like want to Ashama what look at the spelling of the name. Asna Ashama A squared. Patent to A squared.
What kind of math are we doing right now?
How do you spell Ashama? What's the first letter? A. Asna, how do you spell it? A squared. Partey is on show. Partey is on show. Look, Kamavinga, they were so frustrated that by the time they realized it was the third goal, look at Arteta, he couldn't believe it. You saw the way he hugged Thomas Partey after the game. Absolutely brilliant. Look, for me, The last time I watched a Ghanaian play this way in the Champions League was when Michael Essien was on top form against Barcelona. The game that referee robbed Chelsea. That game. That was the last time I saw a Ghanaian so dominant.
Referee of Rebo.
And you saw Declan Rice's post on Thomas Partey's page.
Yeah.
He said, look, simply the best. May England midfielder to about. Tell me, Carrot asks me, which English midfielder is just look. Partey created an absolute entropy in the atmosphere of the Real Madrid team.
Charlie. And what?
Entropy, total confusion. He made them confused and they thought it was an act of stability. That's what entropy means. The degree of confusion in the system. That seems to be very, very stable. Look at, they couldn't even pass the ball. Partey detected every, look at the young boy Skelly. He will come into midfield. Anytime he comes there, who was he looking for? Thomas Partey. Be, Chi, Beshin, Pasamoshin, Saka nye here, Martinelli nye here, nye Kamaya, Kehi nye Keba, Mijinye boss, nye Bie, nye Kehami. Take your time and play.
Can they overturn the tie?
Look, next week Wednesday, that is where people will acknowledge the beauty of Thomas Partey. I'm saying it. Arteta needs to be very, very smart. As for the league, is gone. 11 points. Maybe Liverpool, you see, Mohamed Salah, he has switched off because they were not giving him the contract. Now that they've given him the contract, this weekend, market, I'm saying it.
Salah go.
Salah will score.
West Ham United.
They will collect
already the season. Then bless them 5 already.
You mean Salah anytime go?
You see. Now that he signed the contract, you see. That's why I was telling the people of Liverpool,
give him the money.
Giving him this money before the PSG tie, he would have scored 2 goals against them. You misbehaved. Is this now the time to give the man the money? Okay, doesn't matter. You win the league. So the league title is gone. I expect Arteta to rest Partey, to rest Saliba, to rest Timber, to rest all the Saka, to rest Martinelli. As for Real Madrid, they can't afford to rest anybody. They can't. They are going away from home.
Yep.
If you go and rest, you get beat. Barca will beat. Then the 4 points become what? 7. The La Liga title is finished. As for that Copa del Rey, Rudiger and co, they will collect. Simple. Against Lewandowski and co, they will collect. So on Wednesday, look, Arteta will have to calm down because the Bernabeu is the Bernabeu.
Yep.
I don't say this having any fear whatsoever. Go in there, play your game. Like Susu said, I don't remember the last time Arsenal conceded 2-3 goals in a single game. Minkai, I don't remember. Maybe as a Man United fan, the last time they considered it was when Ashley Young and co whipped them 8-2. That is what I remember. I don't remember Arsenal conceding more than 3 goals. And if you look at the fact that Real Madrid looks so disorganized, Real Madrid will come with some form of power. But the Arsenal team too is a very big physical team. Timber, Partey, Declan Rice, Saliba and co. They are physically built to match up to the physique of the Real Madrid threat. So just lure them. The Bernabeu pitch is big, Papa. Martinelli into space. Saka into space. Rudiger and co. Now you see he's bandaging his knee all the time. He's highly incrodized. We'll see on Wednesday. If as Arteta does not qualify, he should be sacked. If he doesn't qualify
after 3-0,
they should sack him quick. Maybe. When will you have this advantage, Arteta?
Let me talk to Gavi last on the Real Madrid Arsenal
Ben,
game.
just quick one. I think coach has said a lot about Arsenal. So after the game, I was just trying to read around, and I chanced on a few stats around Madrid. Okay, not Madrid per se, but the stats was speaking about teams that have taken a 3-goal lead and looking at comebacks. So in the Champions League, okay,
that's right.
Okay, 2018-2019
Barcelona
in the semi-final. Ben, I hope you are listening.
Yeah, we are listening.
Barca 3, Liverpool 0, Liverpool 4,
Barca 0.
Barca 0.
Now
Liverpool
good.
progress 4-3. 2017-18, it's a quarter-final clash. Barcelona 4, Roma 1. Remember that?
I remember that game.
Okay. Peter Drury's commentary that gave a lot of people goosebumps.
Yes,
Roma 3, Barca 0.
that's right.
2016-17,
That was
last
away
16,
goals, right?
Yeah.
yes, last 16 tie. PSG 4, Barcelona 0. Return leg, Barca 6. PSG 1.
The remontada.
Good.
The Neymar show, eh?
Yes. 203, 204. I think Sisu remember this. AC Milan
How will
4.
I remember? Do you know how old I was? But I know the match at all.
Oh,
The
12
Deportivo,
yeah,
the
Deportivo
Deportivo
La
match.
Coruña.
Yeah. And guess who was coach?
Carlo?
Carlo Ancelotti threw away a 3-goal lead in the Champions League quarter-final.
You see,
But the point I want to make
all
is
the point just before you based on that.
no, I'm
There's
not,
a common denominator there.
which is 4.
Is if you look at before the last one, there was a common denominator. Barcelona. They were the common denominator in all the equation you just wrote.
But-
this one to Barcelona, not demo.
You see, I think this start will not hold for Arsenal. You know why? Another start I saw with Madrid is that the past season they lost just twice. This season Madrid have lost 11 times.
Yes,
11 times.
they've been so disorganized.
Losses
So-
All
against
competitions.
yes, all competitions.
In
Losses
fact,
against
I saw-
Lille.
Just to add that, I saw a stat that they've conceded the third most goals in the Spanish top flight teams in all
Yeah.
competitions. They've conceded the third most goals. So the only two teams that have conceded more are like Leganés and Valladolid,
Good.
who are last by one.
And I think Ben, you can recall some of the losses that are really funny. Look at that last game they played against
Valencia.
Valencia. No, I even want to talk about that side, that game.
Yeah, the 4-3-1.
It's clearly a team that have got defensive frailties in this team. And I was just telling somebody that
This Milan team beat them 3-1.
yes, I was just
Liverpool Champions League, they lost again. Do you remember their Champions League was shaky? They
Yes.
lost some matches.
yes, even the Atletico game, they were not supposed to
They
be.
should have been booted out.
They were not supposed to go past Atletico. So the thing that it was just a matter of when will they concede. And if you look at that Arsenal Madrid game, it was more of like attack versus defense.
Yes.
Because clearly, if you look at Arsenal this season, I think we've sat on several shows to talk about how Arsenal are defensively good, but going forward,
They've been
bereft of ideas. And I would want to say that I told you that. Look, I would want to give Mikel Merino his flowers because I would understand why Mikel Arteta would decide to let him play against Madrid.
Yeah.
This is somebody who knows Madrid very well.
Yeah.
His time at Real Sociedad,
Generally understands Spanish football.
good. And if you're a manager and you're smart, you would want to go with somebody who knows a very familiar enemy. And I think that was what Mikel Arteta did. But to score against
Yeah, that goal.
Madrid.
That goal was so well taken.
I mean, I've said that. Look,
It was such a difficult goal.
good. He started that goal scoring run against Leicester. You remember?
Yeah,
The
when he
Super
played-
Sub, 2 goals. We said it was the Premier League. Let's see if he will deliver when it matters.
He did it
In
against
big
Chelsea.
games. He did it against Chelsea. He's done it against Madrid. And I would want to give props to Mikel Arteta. The last thing I would want to talk about is that I was a bit scared for Jacob Kivior.
Yeah.
Because he was supposed to, so he was like the backup for Gabriel Magalhaes,
Yeah.
but he was playing alongside a very experienced
Saliba.
William Saliba, and because Saliba did a very good job, I'm not even sure a lot of people even noticed Kivior's work.
effectiveness on the day because anytime the Kelly boy moved into midfield,
Yeah,
he had a huge
Good.
area
You know-
to cover.
And which is why I find it funny that Arteta doesn't trust him more, because whenever I've seen him play, he's a very the first thing I notice about him is that he's a very tactically disciplined.
yeah.
I think
you know
he's
what's
but
been-
I think there's been games when
it's
he's
been
had,
unfair to him. A lot. Arteta has played my left back a few times.
he's not.
And you know when a centre back sometimes move to left back and they meet
They
a
are-
pacey
they are
winger,
not used to that.
sometimes they just look bad because there's a lot of space. The recovery pace, the winger will just do you.
As
So it
I
just
was
becomes
saying,
some
you,
way.
yeah.
this
So
one is
so
for my
in
boss.
Just that for me.
in wrapping up, I am very very interested in how the second leg will play out. Very very interested in how the second leg. I would be very very surprised if Mikel Arteta goes into the game
If he
in a
throws
very,
away
very
a
funny
3-0 lead, they should sack him.
Ben, because look, you can actually envisage how Madrid will start playing on Wednesday. Start on the front foot.
chaotic.
Let's set these boys ablaze. If you listen to what Jude Bellingham said,
No, I mean, look, Real Madrid's mentality basically is if they can get 3 unanswered goals, we can definitely get 3 unanswered goals at the Bernabeu. That's what they think.
And I think because if you look at the chart, now they've taken the away goal rule, tie that thing off. So now maybe at the back of the minds of these Madrid players, they'll be like, okay, it's our home ground. Arsenal had their share or had their time at Emirates. They're coming to the Bernabeu. Let's start on a very good note. And I think that is when Mikel Arteta needs to be smart in the way he's going to play. Because, coach, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm a manager, you need to be very pragmatic. Madrid will commit a lot of bodies. What do you have to do? Rely on your speedsters,
your
right?
pacey players,
and
restrict the movement of Declan
Rice. Martinelli, Saka.
Yeah, but this time around, Declan Rice will have to sit a bit closer to Thomas Partey. The two of them will have to be on the base of that defensive shape, and then you leave Moreno, Martinelli, and then Saka to do their thing, and Odegaard.
Let me just say finally, I just think that I was telling Adam before the first leg that look, it's not even a mystery. If Real Madrid need to win this game, they need to find a way to deal with Partey. Like I told him, there's just something about him that he enjoys these type of games, and you see, I feel like he understands like Spanish football a lot more than your average English player. So I was telling him that if Real Madrid can find a way to deal with this guy, they'll be able to win the game. If they cannot, they will lose this game.
But you see, I didn't say it right now. They will not, because what we've seen from Real Madrid.
If
you don't make your point, coach, then you
we have to give Partey his flowers. He doesn't. No, seriously, like.
But you see, Ben, the question is, who is going to do that job on Partey?
No, that's exactly my. There's
actually a red card.
Maybe the person you can actually equate Partey's physicality to is probably maybe Valverde.
But you see,
coach, if he's playing in that role.
But you see, those guys here, the way they are good players. There are a lot of energy here. But when you are playing someone tactical like Partey, who wants to slow the game, and this is one of Real Madrid's biggest problems. And why
Cruz left?
Exactly.
That was what Cruz was doing for them.
Thank you very much, coach. That's exactly the thing. These guys, they are trying to figure out who will be Cruz's replacement in that team. One of those midfielders, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde or Bellingham, one of them needs to learn to play more like Toni Kroos, or this Madrid team has a serious problem.
And that's exactly what Arsenal have in Partey. So you see, he's. I think what gets underplayed is that he's smarter than your average, like most of the midfielders he plays against. And what makes it impressive for me is that he's not the quickest guy. He suffered lots of injuries.
He's
not the most athletic right now, but he can dribble out of a tight space.
That's in a very smart way.
He has these body feints he does. He can just body feint you.
No,
and
there was a season. There was a season. I can't remember
the pass before he received.
I can't remember which season it was. Maybe one of his first Arsenal seasons. I think his take-on success rate in the Premier League was like 75%.
That's crazy.
Or like 80% or something. So it's like when he decides to dribble, he's very good at it. So for me, the type of player he is a very good player. Like that profile, because Real Madrid don't have it. Partey, if they had someone like that,
bigger,
they would have been able to manage the game a lot better. But because they don't have someone like that, they play a lot. That's part of even I think leads into their disorganization. They play.
You for to see his face, I say,
Odafe Camavinga,
Challenge coach, Camavinga go shy in second leg.
He got red card.
Just make that last one.
I was saying that. So because of their and I think this is part of Real Madrid's problem, that because they don't have anyone who can put, because even Luka Modric, he's not a put your foot on the ball midfielder. He's but even in his prime, he was very energetic.
Drive the ball forward.
Push the ball forward. So when you don't have that type of player, all your games are going to be chaotic. And I think that's why they are conceding more. Because they can't even control the tempo of any game. They can only play either they play fast or they play hyper fast. But they can't ever just let's relax. Because I like their midfielders, but as a complement, as a unit,
they are too civil.
Exactly. They don't have. So I feel like right now, their problems. They need one. The person who's closest to that is Ceballos. He's the best at that. Injured. But even Ceballos, if he was playing, Ceballos is not Thomas Partey's mate. Let's be honest. He's a good player, but he's not in that upper echelon. So for me, I think Real Madrid, there's a lot. I think the squad needs some retooling. I think that midfielder, even if you don't bring one who's starting, you bring an older guy who can maybe teach Camavinga or Tchouaméni that role, how to play like that. Because the way those guys play, they're a bit too quick. So I think that those are the problems for Real Madrid.
Well, that's the lowdown on the Real Madrid game. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll get into some other stuff. We'll talk about the Salah contract. We'll try and see if we can touch on Onana. He's been up to a few things.
Onana.
Let's take a break here. We'll be right back on the show.
Oh, right into the pond.
Of course, a pro indeed, Andy.
Another message? Oh, wait, not again.
What? What's wrong?
We've exceeded our fuel budget by 15,000 Ghana cedis this month. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, that's crazy. Just for a few vehicles?
Exactly. We spend so much on fuel that I don't even know where it's going.
I had the same problem until Instroma GPS saved me. Their fuel monitoring system stops fuel theft and wastage, saving me thousands, bro.
Really?
Yeah, it paid for itself in months. Plus, I get monthly reports that track every drop of fuel. Hey, I know we'll lose God.
Take control of your fuel costs today. Get a free demo of Instroma's fuel monitoring system. Call 024-676-7662 now. Instroma GPS. Your choice, your savings.
Football's magic never fades, even from the couch. The sound of halftime banter replays at the touch of a button. Sharing with my chosen crew, pure game magic. It's like I'm there, but with a better view from the comfort of my home. Priceless. From the March 3rd to April 30th, pay with your MasterCard, online or in-store, and stand a chance to win a unique priceless viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends. MasterCard, proud supporter of Lost of Ant. T's and C's apply.
City 97.3 Accra.
Let me get into some messages. Benjamin Iketia here, Sports Panorama. This one here says, Ghana football never ceases to amaze Ghanaians. Bayern Munich will bounce back next Wednesday. Bavarian Harrison Ado from Daniel. Hey, Bavarian Harrison Ado Daniel from Koforidia. I see. Long name. This
Ado, please forget.
This one here says, good evening, my people. The Panorama joint. I have this strong feeling that the Champions League title is coming back to England after a while. The quality of a good coach is his persistence in winning matches and not once a while. I'll be very surprised if Hearts of Oak decide to maintain the services of this current coach Ouattara. Do have a pleasant weekend. Pakoshito from I think I missed the venue. I missed where he was texting from. Ben, we are informed that the penalty awarded at Atram Devicia was controversial. Gabi, Gabi has definitely touched on that. He says it was definitely controversial. This one says, a great weekend to you and your fantastic analyst. The Jama before the prayers moved me into the spirit. What? I'm totally over the moon for the contract extension of Salah and VVD. Renewed energy for the team, especially in the closing stages of the PL. Liverpool winning the league, Barca winning the Champions League, and Liverpool's exit and Kotoko from the GPL. Kudos to City Sports. Okay, this one says a great weekend. Okay, I think I read this already. When at all are we going to get rid of this thing called hooliganism from our football space? That's why I've stopped attending games. Tria, Yao Chris with that one. Yao Chris is not happy. I'm not happy either. More messages. Keep going. It says Ghana football never ceases to amaze Ghana. I think I read it already. Give me more messages. I want more messages on the Champions League. Actually, good. Let's go for the bottom. No, not this one. This one here says, good evening, guys. One team I never doubt on Champions League nights is Real Madrid until they exit. Arsenal should be careful. Robert from Kaswa with that one. More.
We too. We don't usually doubt them, but this one, dear.
Kojo says, I want to appeal to our sports journalists and commentators to hype Partey more. He needs to be. We need to be intentional about it. We need to push him to win the next African Player of the Year. These awards rely heavily on public recognition, and we need to help the young guy. Ghanaian players haven't won in ages, and this is a great opportunity to have somebody for the nation.
I disagree. I think
Salah's had a great season.
I think Ghanaian journalists talk about Partey a lot.
They don't.
I think it's a mixed bag. They're especially when it comes to the Black Stars, people are not really happy with him. So I don't know.
See, that's why I said that he's been good, but he's not like there've been other.
When it comes to the Black Stars, and you are the head coach Otoado, Why would you be fighting with Thomas Partey? Lebachi game,
It doesn't even make sense. But
he will push the ball for you. He will play the game for you. He's the baller in the team. When he plays, so every good coach would draw such a player closer and demand from him.